On this episode of Reliterated, divorce can take a terrible toll on children, but usually that doesn't involve getting them stranded in the Canadian wilderness and forced to survive with nothing but the clothes on their back, a couple nature documentaries worth of knowledge, $20 and a hatchet. Oh, so you get 2 Christmases? Boo-hoo. When his parents got divorced, Brian Robeson got a face full of mosquitoes every night in the pitch-black darkness and food poisoning from some cherries he found while pulling porcupine quills out of himself. Now quit complaining and get in the car. We're going to your mom's. And on the way, we're listening to Hatchet on the Season 3 premiere of Reliterated, the podcast that cuts like a knife, but it feels so right. Welcome back to Reliterated, the lowbrow book club of grown-ass adults reading the children's books popular in the 1990s, but with 2020's hindsight. Fair warning, we use language too mature for kids, analysis too immature for literary scholars, and ignorance too profound to be inoffensive to everyone. And man, does it feel good to be saying those words again. We are back, gentlemen.
Yes.
Indeed.
Took a between-season hiatus from... since early April?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Now here we are.
Yeah, we took a decent little chunk this time.
If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Andy.
I'm Harold.
And I'm Josh.
And have we got a show for you, especially if you grew up in the 90s going to school, and particularly public school, and getting assigned books to read. Because this week we've got a book that I believe I was assigned to read, either for a book report or like a class reading project. But today we're doing Hatchet by Gary Paulson.
I was not assigned this book, so for me, this was the first time I read this.
Wow, really? I read this when I was into the whole... I pretty much read this right after I read My Side of the Mountain, I believe. So, because I was into the woods stuff. You know, I lived in the woods, so this sort of stuff appealed to me.
I thought of My Side of the Mountain all through this book, and there's just so many, yeah.
You know what? I was actually looking at that episode today, and we are just about a year to the day of when we actually recorded that episode. So,
oh wow,
a year after doing My Side of the Mountain, we are doing Hatchet.
Nice,
excellent,
and it makes sense because Hatchet is definitely more mature than My Side of the Mountain, and
far more realistic.
In this last year, I think we've all become more mature.
Mm-hmm. And I know I've become more realistic.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm pretty much still about the same. Somewhere in between dutiful worker and... God damn it, I don't want to do that.
So, yeah, in the time since we started taking our hiatus, what have we all been up to?
I went back to work, and it's been great being back at work, actually, walking around, talking to other human beings. And I even returned to the scene of the travesty and have been working in there and really enjoying it. So I'm glad for all that to be. And every day I'm getting better and better. I actually finally just kind of lost my little bit of a limp after a long day. I'm like, this sucks. I need to sit down, but it's getting there.
The calf muscles building back up.
Oh yeah, the leg's feeling pretty good already. That's all kind of getting back to normal. I'm on I like to stay on my feet, so, but yeah, no, I would tell anyone that if you're planning on trying to break your foot or your ankle or anything that is part of your mobility, don't. 0 out of 10 would not do again.
Advise against it. Josh, what have you been up to over the past month?
Oh, I've been working, doing stuff at my job because it's been a little bit stressful with trying to help out a lot of kids. So there's a lot going on there. When I'm not there, I have been working out a lot, and I started doing a CrossFit type training thingy. I have a sledgehammer, and I hit a tire with that, and I basically use a sledgehammer as a weight, and have been doing that to work out. And I have been also walking a lot, and I changed my diet dramatically. So I've actually lost some weight, and I went down a belt notch today. So pretty happy with the progress I've made, and I'm going to continue on with it. And
Good for you.
I'm angry right now. I purchased an electric bicycle, but one of the pedals won't go on. But I'm going to buy other pedals anyway, but still irritating because I want to ride my bike and I can't.
I don't want to overshadow Josh's pedals, but I also started doing something in the last month that I haven't done in many, many years, and I've actually been sticking to it.
What's that?
I started writing a book, and I'm at 35 pages, somewhere around 15,000 words. So I've
Awesome.
actually been doing that.
Excellent.
Josh
Well
is
done.
supposed to be my accountability buddy.
I was going to say, I'm glad my gentle prodding helped you along with that.
Yeah, I look forward to reading your work.
Oh, don't look forward to it. I'm still not promising anything. I'm still riddled with ADHD, but like...
I don't care. You need a proofreader or whatever, hit me up.
All right.
I mean, he might need a sound guy in the future.
Audio. Will you do an audiobook?
Yeah, if you need an audiobook, I know somebody that does them.
Nice.
And that somebody is me. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing over the past month. Taking on audiobook work. I haven't been exercising because I've been so busy with audiobook work and work for the hockey team. I've been going to a lot of garage sales, trying to find some deals and build up my video game collection. That's been kind of fun. Hanging around a lot with Janelle, just eating junk food and getting fatter. I went up a belt notch.
Oh, you found it. Okay.
Yeah, I found it. Yep, you lost it. I found it, bro.
Was it
yeah.
at Arby's? I still go there a lot.
Yeah, that's where I found it. It was in Arby's, just sitting on the floor. Oh, look, it's a belt notch.
You know what? Arby's has gotten a bad rap over the years, and I just want to say that I think their food is delicious. I wish they would had their chicken fingers that I had when I was a kid, that they
Chicken
don't have
fingerlers?
anymore. But man, those chicken fingers were so good. They were like zesty, and oh fuck, I wish I could get those.
Well, they have some sort of chicken fingers nowadays.
Yeah, it's just not the same. They don't taste.
So
They're not
two-
chicken fingers.
Two things happened for me today. I saw this whole discussion about Arby's getting a bad rap over the years, which blew my fucking mind because I've always thought people loved Arby's, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And then I saw that Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse.
The fuck?
Right? Dude, I'm telling you.
we have
McMahon-
shifted dimensions.
We've shifted
Wait.
dimensions.
You're telling me Ed McMahon didn't work for Publishers
Wait.
Clearinghouse?
He didn't work for them. He just delivered their checks.
He didn't deliver their checks. He was never
What?
associated with Publishers
He was-
Clearinghouse.
Oh, no,
He was
this is
never
not-
associated with Publishers Clearinghouse.
Bullshit.
I call bullshit on
Fuck
that.
that. No, he did.
He was never associated with Publishers Clearinghouse. He was associated with a thing like Publishers Clearinghouse, but it wasn't very well known.
Oh, it was a
Was it because we're
distinctly
from?
different.
Was it a Michigan thing? Is it because we? were
No,
from,
dude, but it wasn't really well known. So for Ed McMahon to stick out so much, I remember him clearly being attached to Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah,
I don't even remember
the two
this
names
other
were
one.
synonymous.
No.
Like you hear about getting big checks of money show up at your door. The people say, "Oh, Ed McMahon show up at your door."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nope. He worked for something else.
Ugh.
The men. Oh my god, I
No.
binged it, and this just isn't.
Oh,
impossible.
why did we have to come to
The
this
Mandela
freaking
effect
universe?
is to blame.
Yeah,
Mandela.
Yeah, dude.
Way to go,
I've been
Dr.
telling
Strange.
you guys. I told
Doctor
you.
Strange changed things again. Did you guys see that movie, by the way?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet? Okay, so we cannot discuss the details.
Nope.
But,
I gotta
but this
go
is
see
the
it.
real multiverse of madness here. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And like I say, you're talking about Arby's, like people like, oh, Arby's has got a bad rap. Like, dude, Arby's?
I know
Like,
a lot of jokes were made at Arby's expense. Like there was
Yeah,
a,
like
there was
on
a
The
huge running
Simpsons.
thing on the
No,
Simpsons and on the Daily Show. Jon Stewart would make repeated jokes about how Arby's was terrible.
This is the first I'm hearing about this, and I watched The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
There's a
What?
Simpsons thing. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's.
I could eat at Arby's.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. It was when they get stranded on an island. When the kids, it was the Model UN episode where they got in a bus crash off a bridge and somehow washed up on a deserted island.
I could not know on a Simpsons episode easily because I haven't watched Simpsons in 15 years, right? But I guess I haven't watched Jon Stewart either, but I just don't remember people hating Arby's. But come on, Publishers Clearinghouse, Ed McMahon, like that's
That one
something,
blows my
right?
mind.
Well, you listen to Matty Ice and Marky Mark, and they talk about Arby's sometimes, about how they're terrible, but I don't know, I worry about those boys sometimes, about their gastrointestinal systems, because just about everything gives them the shits.
Yeah, they might have like IBS, and they just don't even know it.
I think so.
Hopefully you guys don't have that problem where you're men, so you won't go to the doctor and have them just take a little look under the hood.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
okay. I go to the doctor.
We all need to get a finger up in the bum a bit, time to time.
I went to a doctor, a dentist. Got my teeth fixed today, so
Nice.
half my face was numb most of the day. That was fun.
Speaking of getting stranded and surviving, let's talk about Hatchet by Gary Paulson, first published in 1986.
That almost felt like an edited segue. Like you edited it in.
You got us going.
Editing on the fly.
Excellent.
Yep.
I'm that good.
Go ahead. So let's talk about Gary Paulson, guys.
Well, Gary Paulson was a very cool dude, actually. What a life did he have? He was born...
Oh, what a life he led.
What the hell? We getting wholesome now? Oh my goodness, let me tell you about this Gary Paulson.
Well, he did more than just it was, he wrote some stuff and then was around. No, he actually did some shit. So
nice.
He was born in Minneapolis in 1939, and his father was in the Army and joined General Patton's staff. And so he lived in Minnesota and in Chicago until after World War II, and then he went to the Philippines to join his father, where he was stationed, and he actually wrote about that in the book Eastern Sun, Winter Moon, where he talks about his voyages over there. And actually, in elementary school, he was quite deficient at literary class and struggled with it. So...
That's deficient, not efficient.
Deficient.
Yes. He was deficient. Not very good at the studies.
Not good at the book learning.
And yet he wound up writing how many books in his career?
So many.
I'm looking at his bibliography. It's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's very extensive.
And they don't list a number, but over 200 books.
But there are, like, right here, the notable works are Hatchet, The River, Dog Song, Wood Song, Winter Dance, The Winter Room, Harris and Me. And in the article, he also has some autobiographical books. One is called Guts, The True Stories Behind Hatchet and the Bryant Books, where he talks about surviving and learning those skills in Minnesota.
Based on real life experiences, huh?
Says he barely mentions his parents except to say they were too busy being drunk to stock the fridge.
So that's his own little survival tale there. Surviving lazy parents.
Yeah, he said he had bought his own school supplies and had a 22 single shot, like they talk about in the book a little bit. And then he gave up the rifle and made his own bow and arrows. So he used that to hunt deer, which... That's when I wanted to hunt, that is what I was going to do. But I figured out very early that hunting is not for me. So,
I'm just imagining you building your own bow.
Oh, I didn't build my own bow. No, I had a nice.
No.
Had a
Like
compound.
you're like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go like he's.
You wanted to be a bow hunter.
No, if I was going to hunt, because growing up in where I
hunt.
did, a lot of people hunted. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to go out and hunt like everybody else does. And then I went out there and I strapped myself in and I woke up 3 hours later and I was like, I could have did this in my bed. And that's my first and last time I went out bow hunting by myself.
Sounds about right. Yep. I think I went turkey hunting with my dad once and figured out quickly that that's not the life for me.
I've gone out with people that are hunting, but I've always been like just sitting there and they've got a rifle and they're waiting on deer. Never seen someone shoot a deer. Yeah, no.
But I do like shooting. I mean, when I go,
shooting is fun.
When I come up there with you, Harold, we go and skeet shoot. So
we will shoot some skeet.
And I will bring ear protection this time in case you forget it again.
Well, we can just go get some earplugs, but
last time you're like, "Oh, it's fine."
Like, so I said I had read Dog Song earlier, but I think I actually read Wood Song by Gary Paulson for a class. I don't remember it at all, but that's definitely something we should look at.
One interesting thing about Paulson was that he actually entered the Iditarod trail sled dog race, and he placed 41st out of 54 finishers with an official time of 17 days, 12 hours, 38 minutes, 38 seconds in 1983.
Now,
so,
mind you, he placed 41 out of 54 finishers.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't finish.
Yeah, a lot of people don't finish, so even finishing the Iditarod is an achievement.
Because he did run it a few other times, but he always had to pull out for various reasons. And he actually retired due to heart disease. But then years later in 2003, he got back into it. But yeah, in 1985 and 2006, he was withdrawn scratched. So, and then he passed away not too long ago, October 13th, 2021 in New Mexico. So,
from cardiac arrest,
which is similar to how the pilot died in the book. So,
interesting.
Foreshadowing his own life. Probably not. He wasn't a pilot.
Well, he wasn't flying a plane, I hope. Was he flying a plane?
Nope. He was just chilling at his house in Tularosa, New Mexico. So.
Sounds like he had a storied life, though. That's very nice.
Oh, yes. At least 200 stories.
So, yeah, I'd be interested in reading some more of his stuff.
I liked his writing style.
Yeah, it was a very good writing style.
I enjoyed it. It kept me intrigued, kept me turning the pages, and the story was really good too. So,
talking about story, let's get into it. You got a Bob's Your Uncle summary for us?
We got the Bob's Your Uncle.
Let's launch right into Newbery Honor Award-winning Hatchet by Gary Paulson.
Meet Brian Robeson. Is it Robeson or Robeson? Robeson? Is that what you guys want?
The audiobook of it was Robeson.
That's how I said it in my mind too. Yeah, Robeson.
Meet Brian Robeson. He's a child of divorce who knows that his mother was having a secret affair. He is on his way to an oil field in northern Canada to visit his dad and hasn't decided if he will tell him or not. During a flight on a small plane, the pilot, a man of few words, lets Brian fly for a moment. He then immediately has a heart attack and dies in front of the 13-year-old Brian, who finds himself guiding the plane as best he can until it runs out of fuel. Deciding whether to tell his dad the secret becomes a trivial matter when Brian crashes down in a small lake in the Canadian wilderness. Luckily, his mother had given him a hatchet before he left, opening up the B story. More on that later. Brian is no Sam Gribley, but he's no Andy, Harold, or Josh either, and manages to get himself some food. He does consistently drink from the lake and never talks about diarrhea, so the story could be embellished a bit. Brian fumbles his way to success in the woods as he survives and becomes more comfortable in the vast wilderness. He encounters some dangerous animals and has a few misses with search planes. He gets himself pretty well set with a spear, bow, and shelter. He feels he is becoming different, and then a moose totally rocks his shit. He loses all his cool stuff and hobbles back to his shelter to rest and gather himself. A tornado rolls through his area when he is recovering from the moose thrashing and exposes the tail of the plane in the water. Brian builds a makeshift raft and makes his way to the plane. While trying to get it open, he drops the hatchet into the lake. Seeing the hatchet as life, Brian swims down and recovers it despite the risks. Once he gets the plane open, he recovers a survival pack, a gun, food, and other valuable items from the plane. He makes it back to shore, and after 2 months of this stuff being a little ways away in the plane, he dries off and looks through his bounty. He switches on a device, but believes it's broken. Shortly after, a plane flies over and lands in the lake, saving Brian just as he was getting all set. In the epilogue, we get a short idea of what life is like for Brian back in the regular world. Brian battled with wanting to tell his dad the secret of the other man, but never did, possibly because of the B story. And Bob's Your Uncle, that's Hatchet.
There it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, all right.
But you did leave out one part that they definitely talk about multiple times, and that is the smell in the plane as the man is dying.
Well, that's not being left out, Josh. It's that this is the summary of the story. We can talk about the gritty parts.
Yeah, you don't include everything in the Bob's Your Uncle.
Oh man, that part though, when he was like talking about it, I was like, okay, yeah, that's a natural reaction. That's what would happen. Okay.
Yeah, he's having a fart attack.
Mm-hmm. Keeps grabbing his arm. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's too good. Yeah,
His left arm is, just dying.
Just all the signs are there. When I first read it when I was younger, I was like, oh, so that's what the signs are. That's what you got to look for. And now as an adult, I'm like, yep, those are definitely the signs.
Yeah,
and it's amazing that Gary Paulson dealt with heart disease and ultimately died of a cardiac arrest and everything. So maybe he had those kind of heart problems earlier on, and I don't know, was frequently contemplating going through a heart attack. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, he did have heart disease in 1990. And so this would have been definitely first and foremost on his mind when he wrote this. So I believe that, yeah, it was him writing about something that he was possibly scared of. And maybe it motivated him to get better health or something like that, because he lived for a lot longer. So.
Wait, did you say he was diagnosed in 1990?
Well, that's when he retired from the sled racing. Was because of his heart disease.
Heart disease, yeah. And then he wrote this just a few years previous.
Mm-hmm. So he probably had heart problems. And then, yeah,
maybe.
Makes sense to me.
We'll have to get a Ouija board and ask him.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by this B story.
Yeah, what's your B story?
As Brian's mom is saying goodbye to him, she gifts him a hatchet.
Yes.
Is it his birthday or something, or just here's something?
Because I think it's just because he's going to be out in the wild in the wilderness with his dad, and so it's like a cool thing that she can give him that he can maybe use up there for whatever reason.
I mean, as long as the plane doesn't go down, that story works, yeah. But what if
yeah, we start the story in midair.
Yeah. What if the pilot was poisoned before takeoff? And what if Mom wanted the plane to crash? Because then Brian wouldn't be able to tell his dad that she was having an affair before the divorce. Because Brian's dad works for an oil field, which means he's getting buku bucks. Brian's 13. This divorce is pretty recent. They were married long enough for alimony to take place, depending where they live, right? And if Brian tells Dad, well, then he's got a chip. So she wants the plane to go down, but in a twisted, like, motherly love thing, she gives him a hatchet just in case he survives the crash.
So killing her son would ensure that she gets more alimony?
No, she continues to get the alimony.
She continues?
Yes. Because if he goes,
no idea how divorce law works.
I don't really know myself, but I do remember watching shows where when somebody was found to have been cheating and that caused the divorce, liar, actually.
Oh, okay. Now we're going by the liar statute.
Yes, the liar statute. I don't know that it's true, but this is a book, so it's a fictional world. So the law applies. One fictional world to another
applies. They exist in the same universe.
Yep. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. Hatchet is in the Liar universe.
The Brian saga. Yeah, Liar is just another installment in the Brian saga. How you like that, Josh?
Is that the same universe as like the Santa Claus?
I think that one's the same, yeah.
Okay.
Intriguing theory.
That makes sense now in my head. But she's a real estate agent, so they make pretty good money.
But she wants more, dude. She's just sick. She gives her kid a hatchet so he'll survive in the woods if he makes it through the plane crash after she poisoned the pilot.
Yeah,
you think that it's about the money?
Oh, I feel your beef story is a bit far-fetched, just slightly.
People in real estate, they just can't get enough. They just keep wanting more.
You are not thinking of all the greed, Josh. the greed.
True. I guess it was just the I was like, she would be getting child support for sure. So I don't think it would be hard to get the alimony as well.
Yeah, but she's not worried about the child support runs out.
When he turns 18.
Yeah. He's 13 already. That's 5 years. Alimony. That's what I want to keep.
I don't get the whole concept of alimony, really.
I don't either. It doesn't matter. It's a compelling story. That's why people watch daytime television.
Well, obviously this blonde-haired fellow, it doesn't make very good money because he drives a station wagon like a loser. But
who's the blonde-haired
meeting
fellow?
secret at a mall parking lot.
That's the secret guy.
That's the guy. Yeah.
The secret. You know, the words that they
repeat over and over, and then it turns out it means nothing because he never actually tells the father.
The secret.
He just lets it.
And that's he doesn't tell his dad because he kind of knows deep down. He gets the message from the Hatchet. He kind of knows deep down.
He gets the message from the Hatchet. The Hatchet is sending a message.
Yeah. Well, the message that, I could have let you could have just died, but I gave you this hatchet. So maybe don't tell your dad. Like, that's what it meant. That's what she was trying to say, but it was really convoluted.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't go with that.
It's a B story.
Sure.
What kind of B stories have we had so far, right? Have any of the B stories been anything that made any sense? That actually, I feel, had a lot more thought put into it than most of the other B stories.
That's true. It did have more thought put into it.
I mean, no one fucked any falcons, but still.
Yeah, he could have fucked up a what was it? Porcupine, a bear, a moose.
Oh yeah,
but that moose was
got fucked up by a porcupine.
So he did get fucked by a moose. A moose fucked him.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And mosquitoes. Billions and billions of mosquitoes.
Yes, the mosquitoes fucked him too. Yes.
That was painful for me to read about.
Right.
Like, holy shit. Like, that many mosquitoes just constantly engulfing them.
Yeah, that was
not fun.
I mean, I've been in northern Michigan where they're bad, but not that bad. Holy crap. I think just being in any type of civilization will keep them away somewhat. But just out in the woods like that, oh God.
Mm-hmm. He gets skunked too at some point.
Yeah, he did get skunked. But guys, I just remembered something. I just remembered when I was at wilderness camp. I think I was in 6th grade. David was probably in like 5th grade or 4th grade. We went to a wilderness camp, and oh my God, the mosquitoes were the worst they were that bad. They were as bad as that. Holy crap, I remember it now. Oh my God, it was so traumatic. I blotted it out of my memory. Holy shit, those mosquitoes were fucking terrible. Oh, because it was just out in the woods. Oh, God.
We are unlocking repressed memories here on the show.
Holy shit, dude. I forgot about that camp.
Oh, my God. I just remembered a time from a past life when I was engulfed in mosquitoes.
Yeah, that was crazy, though. Wow. I forgot about that. That's crazy. And speaking of the secret, like, I think this book did appeal to me because at that time my parents were going through a divorce, so that probably I was able to identify with that. So that book probably helped me out. That's probably what was so fond of a memory to reread it, because man, I did like it again. It was a page turner. I had it done in 2 nights. So.
Yeah, divorce was a heavy topic in this book. And I mean, for this kid to be dealing with that, his parents go through a divorce, he's going to visit his dad, then he gets lost in the fucking wilderness. And I want to... So, he gets hit by the porcupine. How long did they say he was gone? Like 56 days at the end of it? He had only been gone for 56 days?
Only 56 days? Like almost 2 months?
Take a look.
Sure. But the guy said they stopped looking for you 2 months ago. So I thought that was odd. Like, God, they stopped looking 2 months ago?
Well, now your B story's making more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, oh no, we don't have to look for him. I gave him my hatchet.
Search.
He's fine.
Clearly he's dead. Dead as a
doornail. He's been alone for 54 days, yes.
But you said you gave him a hatchet. He might still be alive.
How unlikely would that be, sir? He's out there. What? So he gets nailed by that porcupine. He survives a plane crash. Gets nailed by the porcupine. And like those two injuries, like right off the bat, man, those would be pretty decently bad. You'd think. I mean, even when he was pulling him out, he's just like, "Fucking pull it out," you know. Mm-hmm. And I think Brian has a healing factor.
It's very gradual because he was talking about his face being swollen and ugly and messed up for days. Sure.
It's gradual, but it's, I mean, like, you know, he sure comes back quick. He was swimming. He got curb stomped by a moose and then swam out and beat open an airplane, then swam down to the bottom of the lake to get the hatchet.
Yeah, that was pretty quick there between the getting his shit rocked by the moose, because you got to consider like he's probably got like either broken or bruised ribs,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's very soon after that diving for his hatchet.
Right.
He does take a few days to build that raft.
Yeah, but
in
still
between,
a few days.
But still, yeah.
Yeah, I've had bruised ribs.
Broken or bruised ribs.
Just a few days didn't help. What helped was the painkillers they gave me. That was the only way I was able to breathe without pain.
Yeah, he had none of that.
Maybe his mutant power is just surfacing. He's 13. He's going through puberty. His mutant power is surfacing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you know. So it's
it didn't
also
take
the
Sam Gribley
X-Men
that
universe,
long.
The Marvel universe. Oh wait, no, it's not. We're not. Nope.
This isn't What If.
Yeah.
But he does have a more realistic hard time than Sam Gribley ever did.
Oh, for sure.
He even went through stuff of eating the wrong thing and having to puke, and I think there was diarrhea involved.
Yeah, he had he had those
did.
choke cherries. So
after the gut cherries.
Yeah, he called them gut cherries, and then we find out later that he did the research and found out they were choke cherries. So that was a nice thing at the end. It's like, hey, we did a little bit of research for you, so you don't have to do it, even though you could now. But when it came out, the internet wasn't a thing yet, really, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he did have that, but I mean, he was also drinking out of a lake and like never had any problem with that.
What I think part of that is because it was glacial water and it was cold a lot, and so it probably froze over every year, which helps keep microbes at bay. So I think that and, you know, being young and able to do it, he was just basically lucky that there was nothing really bad in the lake. So,
and he did take care to go out past the shore, or beyond the shore, to where the water was clearer and where all that stuff would like settle, I suppose.
Yeah, where
because that's basically how distillation works, right? Like all the stuff you don't want to drink settles down to the bottom of a...
You're not so worried about the dirt and the stuff like that. You're more worried about the microbes in the water that are swimming around.
Yeah, and like
the bacteria.
The little bits of decomposing pilot.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't have him boil the water.
Well, he didn't have anything to boil the water in. He didn't get the pot and pans, because at the end, is when he got the survival pack, he's like, pots and pans, like just the ability to take water from the lake back to the camp was just amazing to him.
Right.
So he never had that ability before. So he just had to, you know, help basically go with his gut, and luckily his gut was able to do okay.
Yeah,
so.
And I guess after a while, your gut bacteria probably start fighting it anyways, so...
Right, and the funny thing is, he never got to really use that survival stuff.
No, he never did.
Found because he got rescued pretty quick.
Almost immediately.
Well, yeah, I think
after getting the survival pack from the plane. Yeah,
I think it's pretty much like, if you hear an emergency beacon, you go to it because someone needs help. So
it was pretty funny, but luckily glad he found that stuff. I mean, I wish he would have gone earlier, but he did pretty good for himself. He made a fucking bow and arrow. He made a spear. He had himself set up pretty good. He was getting good at killing a particular bird, the fool birds he called them.
Yeah,
and he got some rabbits and he got some fish. So he did all right for himself.
I really liked how he explained how time passes. Like, days were nothing to him. It didn't matter. A day was a day. But how he measured things by, like, his first meat. Like, and telling the story about how he
Yeah.
got the bird and how he learned how to track the bird and that was very interesting and compelling to me. It wasn't like Sam Gribley like, hey, so I figured out how to find birds. And that was just it. No, he explained how he's like, I had to find the shape. It wasn't the color. I was looking for the wrong thing. So
Right.
that was cool to me. And basically just time passing the way it did. Like when he saw and all the animals that he saw, like timberwolves and the bear just left him alone because he wasn't bothering the bear and the bear wasn't bothering him. So, But true, a moose will fuck you up for no reason. Because they're just assholes.
Yeah. Hippos are the same way.
Yeah. Don't hippos kill more people than any other animal in the world every year?
Yeah, that's big shark propaganda right there is what that is.
It's pro shark propaganda.
Yeah. Fucking don't be fooled, people. But yeah,
Hey Harold, did you know that sharks follow cruise ships because of the garbage that gets thrown out?
Mm-hmm.
And as a child, Gary Paulson saw a plane crash behind the boat, and the sharks ate the survivors of the plane crash.
Is that true?
That was on his
It's in the
Wikipedia
Wikipedia.
page.
Oh my god!
He saw that as a child.
Mm-hmm. And that's why all his stories take place in northern Canada in the wilderness of the woods because he's
Far
like
away
the fuck
from
away
sharks.
from the fucking ocean.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up, but we went past it, and then I just remembered when you said sharks, big shark.
That's
propaganda.
absolutely terrifying, man. That's absolutely terrifying. I hate every part of that.
Fun fact for you.
Nice. But yeah, so a moose, I mean, they're the size of a horse, or even sometimes a little bigger.
I think they're
depending
bigger,
on the moose. That's just a big fucking animal. I mean, it's, I actually thought today, have you guys seen the cinematic classic with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Born to be Wild?
When I was a kid, I haven't seen it in years.
Born to be Wild was about three brothers. I want to say they were brothers that decided to go off with a video camera they had and film wildlife, and they specifically wanted to find this hidden cave where there were all these grizzly bears or whatever. And it's actually based on one of the more famous wildlife videographers from like the 80s and 90s. But at one point in that movie, Jonathan Taylor Thomas actually rides on a moose's antlers. That's where I was going with that.
Wow.
Wow.
It's quite the journey, huh? Quite the journey. But you should check that movie out. Born to be Wild, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
So Andy, it's
recommend
44 minutes, 33 seconds. You can cut that.
You Josh.
What I was gonna say was that there's a guy on TikTok who has different animal facts, and he talks about mooses and how terrifying they are. And one of the shots is of a moose about 20 feet underwater swimming to an island because they can hold their breath for a long time.
Yeah, they actually fuck with animals underwater.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Just, they're jerks. So I never want to meet a moose in real life, whether like in captivity at a zoo or anything. I don't want to fucks with a moose. So
no. Yeah, overall though, like I liked this a lot better than My Side of the Mountain because of the problems, because he didn't have everything figured out.
There was actually tension, yeah. There was actually suspense and drama, and like you can see his mental processes in the style of writing. Like the writing gets repetitive, and it's just like digests certain words over and over again, but it's to kind of emphasize his state of mind,
right,
about how something's running through his head over and over again.
Yeah, I really like how he talked about how the change in self and the change in his processes. Like he sees so much more, he hears so much more. When he first got there, he was like, the city boy who didn't know anything, and the woods basically broke him down to a more primal being, and he was able to use that primal knowledge to be able to survive. I mean, he threw his hatchet in the middle of the night at a creature and sparks appeared. And then he didn't even remember it till the next morning when he woke up and was trying to remember what the dream was trying to tell him. And then he remembered them. And that's how he was able to create fires, because they had flint in some of the limestone that they had there.
And even the process of learning how to make the fire from just that bit of knowledge was a process, and it took you through every step of it.
Yep, yeah, he kept having to get smaller and smaller pieces of tinder to try and get it started. It was really interesting. It kept you wanting to see what happened next.
Something I thought was pretty interesting, and I can probably take with me, is how when he was tempted to panic or just stress out about something, I don't remember if he actually went through with like going through a panic or whatever, but at the end of it, he was like, okay, what did that accomplish? Nothing. So is it worth giving in to panic? No, because you're not going to accomplish anything that way.
Right. Which is, definitely a good lesson, because patience is always going to win out in a situation. Unless you're waiting out like a bomb, or like playing chicken with somebody and there's a bomb in the room or something.
Yeah, if there's an explosive, or if like your mom like secretly rigged your hatchet with time release explosive or something. Just trying to kill you.
Oh, come on, Andy. That's crazy.
It's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk. We're talking about a valid plan to kill a child in an airplane. You're talking about
poison the
hatchets. Pilot. By poisoning the pilot. What did the pilot do?
Ooh, maybe.
Oh, that's just because his mom's a sociopath.
Maybe his mom is also a metahuman and can control the wind. And so she's the one that sent the tornado to make sure that the job was done. And that's actually was her undoing.
Yep.
That is what made the plane rise from the bottom.
And hopefully killed that moose.
Yeah.
And hopefully kill that moose.
Yeah, his
like,
spiteful hope.
I hope the moose got his.
Moose got fucked up.
Yeah. Which is totally. I mean, I'd be thinking the same thing. Be like, I hope that fucking tornado killed that moose.
I don't like that moose very much.
It was a very nice moose. Here's Sam Gribley's out here riding moose. Fucking they all love me. Fucking
calling his faithful falcon and
Brian's
his weasel
like,
friend
sucks.
Throwing a Halloween party for all the woodland creatures.
Yeah. Oh god.
Meanwhile, I don't know if Brian was going to survive the winter.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have survived the winter.
He would have been dead.
Thankfully
dead.
Got rescued before winter hit.
They make a point to mention that near the end of the book, that like, just remember that what he hadn't faced was the winter. Like, the storms, the wind, the snow.
And that would be really awkward if we had put this book in our snow chapter.
Yeah, it would have, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we actually looked at it.
But it's perfect for right now.
Yeah.
It's spring.
Uh-huh. And it's about a year after doing my side of the mountain.
Yep. All on purpose.
We did it.
When a plan comes together.
Dun, 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 dun.
So sad it never got a sequel. So good.
I know.
Oh, the A-Team.
Yes.
Yeah, the A-Team with Liam Neeson.
I have it on Blu-ray.
It's such a great movie.
It is.
I think we've talked about it before on here.
Probably.
I think we have, yeah. We discussed that here.
Yeah.
We kind of go off on tangents about movies sometimes.
Hatchet did get some sequels. We see Brian return in The River, otherwise known as Hatchet the Return. Then Brian's Winter. So that's one we could put in our snow chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he does face a winter at some point. Brian's Return and Brian's Hunt.
I'll be interested to learn if he goes there by choice or if other coincidental accidents put him in the wilderness.
Yes, very coincidental.
Want me to spoil it for you?
No.
Okay. Be held in suspense.
I am.
I like how on the cover there's a picture of a wolf and he literally
Guys.
runs into one wolf.
One Rolf.
Gary
Yes.
Paulson also wrote a book called Liar, Liar.
Damn.
Liar, Liar, The Theory, Practice, and Destructive Properties of Deception, written in 2011.
Now, I wonder...
Probably based off the movie.
Probably, most likely.
The novelization of the movie Liar, Liar.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
It is in the same universe.
I wonder
As
if
Hatchet.
Ed McMahon was associated with Publishers Clearinghouse in that universe.
Well, the sequel to Liar, Liar is Flat Broke, The Theory, Practice, and Destructive Properties of Greed. So I'm sure he comes into play in that book there.
Nice. This is all coming together.
Man, Gary Paulson thought of everything.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get him on the show.
He's like Nostradamus. I've got a Ouija board somewhere. We can try.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe get one of those spirit boxes.
Now we just evolved into crazy talk.
Yeah. I do have to say, though, I enjoyed this book. I would like to read more Gary Paulson books in the future, for sure.
I concur.
I believe I've read Wood Songs, so that might be a good one to do at some point, but I don't remember what it's about exactly, so.
I want to do Dog Song, because it says author of Dog Song, and so I was like, okay, well, that's how he got this book, is by getting that book.
Yeah, but Andy hates dogs.
I don't even know what it's about. Let me see.
About singing dogs.
It's
Let
about
me bing
singing
it.
Dogs. It's not even realistic.
They put on a talent show to save the three-legged dog from being put down.
That sounds like an excellent story, actually.
It is the story of Russell, a 14-year-old Eskimo going on the journey to become a man.
So it's Call of the Wild, but with an Eskimo.
Yes. An
Right?
Inuit.
Okay.
I don't know what the proper
I
term
knew
is anymore.
I knew it. It's late, you guys. We have not been staying up as late as we used to.
No, I definitely haven't. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I recently turned 38. I'm an old man.
Yo. Oh, that's right. You know what?
Yeah.
We're going to
Happy
do it right
birthday.
here. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
Andy. I saw it pop up on my Facebook thing, and I was clearing notifications. I'm like, I'll have to text him in a little bit, and then I never did. And then I got a Discord message from Janelle asking me if I wanted to come out with you guys to the Crazy Quarters, and I'm like, oh, that would have been nice to see this 2 days ago.
Right? Yeah. No, it's all good. I appreciate the thought that almost led to action.
Yes. And I mean, you can't be mad about the happy birthday thing. We're almost 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
I've had
40.
enough.
So,
And we gave you a happy 40th birthday when you turned 40.
We did.
sure did. Yep.
It was even on your 40th
Andy?
birthday that we recorded that whatever episode that was.
I think so.
I don't even remember which one that was.
Andy,
Yes.
I'm going lavish on this one.
Ooh.
I want you to go ahead and insert something really cool for your birthday right here.
All right, inserting it now.
You're welcome. I did that for you.
Yeah, but did you have to take off your clothes?
It was part of the tradition, Andy.
Well, it's a good thing I could only hear it.
It was the conservative thing to do.
Thank God for the medium of audio. Oh. So, Hatchet. We are going to be doing survival books for every book in this chapter. I kind of like to compare the stats here. Brian survived 54 days, I think it was,
Okay.
in the Canadian wilderness. And it was like late summer.
Early summer. He was going
Early
to his
summer.
dad's for the summer.
All right. We'll kind of line up the stats based on the survival story. And I don't know, just
See who would win in
See
a
what-
survival
see
test.
what we get. Yes, we'll
Yeah.
pit them against each other in a battle of wits. We might even throw Sam Gribley in there.
Oh man,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
fair. Sam Gribley can referee.
Sam Gribley can referee. It'll be like this. It'll be a tournament done in his name. How about
Yes.
that?
There
The
we
Sam
go.
Gribley games.
The Sam
Sam
Gribley
Gribley
games.
Winter gets to live in his tree house for a year.
Yeah, which is better than most modern homes.
Yep.
Right. Winner gets the other side of the mountain.
Yeah, the other side of the mountain.
But no falcons for them because they're endangered.
Well, they got to get their own falcon.
Yeah.
Find your own falcon. This one's mine.
And what are we doing next?
Next episode, we are going to be reading The Boxcar Children, the first in that series by Gertrude Chandler Warner.
Very good. Now, I did read some Boxcar Children when I was a kid, but I will say that there was a lady at the doctor's office when I had first broken my foot, and I was telling her about our show, and she was older, definitely outside our demographic, but she was talking about the Boxcar Children, and I told her that we'd probably do one, and she really wanted to know the name of the show. So if you're still listening, thank you.
Hi there, ma'am.
But we are getting to a Boxcar Children episode.
Yep, and that's going to be probably next week.
Yep.
I think we decided we're going to take this from a weekly show to whenever the fuck we're ready show.
Or most likely bi-weekly, but yeah
probably bi-weekly, just what with our work schedules being what they are and it being summertime, and so
we don't want to push ourselves too hard.
No, right now we've got a lot of stuff coming up at work, and it's super hot right now, so I'm definitely not going to want to be getting out after a 10-hour day on a Tuesday and then coming home and recording.
And then the next couple books after Boxcar Children are kind of longer, so we don't want to force ourselves to have to read it in just a week's time with all that's going on, because we value our personal lives. As should you, as should we all.
Want quality over quantity.
It's true. So next episode's gonna be quality.
Yes.
About the Boxcar Children.
About the Boxcar Children, yes. And speaking of quantity of episodes, do we want to discuss?
Yes.
That?
I was gonna say, do we want to say anything about that?
So we will no longer have Choose Your Own Adventure episodes. We hit the big time, and apparently it was not liked of us to do that, so we are complying and taking them down. We are going to figure out something to take up the 5th book slot.
Hopefully. If not, it's okay.
Yeah. I still think that doing an actual children's book for the fifth book and just having it be an ad hoc, shorter episode is not a bad idea.
We can talk about making the sausage later, though. So
yeah. But I'm just putting it out there in case
I could be behind
any of the loyal listeners want to agree at all.
Yeah, we definitely want to replace. We want to replace Choose Your Own Adventures with something.
Yes,
we just don't know what. So yeah, if you're looking at our catalog and noticing it's a little bit light by 6 or 7 episodes, then that's why we had to take all those episodes out.
Yes.
But I'm keeping my collection because, yes, hopefully we can do something and be able to put them back up and do them again. So we will see.
But yes, so with that jarring news that I know just ripped everybody apart.
Yeah, no, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but the good news is we'll be back next week with an episode on the Boxcar Children. So until then, support your local libraries and independent booksellers. Give a shit, read some lit.
Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.
This has been Reliterated, a production of the Chocolate Milk Friends and part of the 989 Podcast Network. If you enjoy our show, please consider giving us support by subscribing, recommending us to your book reading, podcast listening, 90s nostalgic friends, and most importantly, rating and reviewing us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible Podcasts, and Spotify. Did I mention we really want some Spotify ratings right now? Your ratings and reviews go a long way towards getting us in the ears of new listeners. You're also invited to join the growing Reliterated community on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you really want to get nuts, we have a Discord too. So bing us and join us in this nonsense. If you have a book suggestion for a future episode or have questions for us, send us an email at reliterated@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
So you decided to steal my brother Michelle
Sure
voice?
did. Yep, just like you always steal my tagline, you dick.
Dude, that's fucking bullshit, man. I don't ever take any of your stuff from you.
Who's that? That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
We don't even.
That's not one
I
of
don't
the
even
corrects
recognize
I
that
talked
as a thing.
Yeah, you're always just trying to take all my fun stuff and use it as your own.
Yep. Hey, I'm only gonna take the good stuff. Don't worry. I'm gonna leave you all the terrible stuff.
Good. I like
Give me the
terrible
map.
stuff.